here. My name is Megan, and I like to make videos basically about my home and my lifestyle, and once in a while I'll do a vlog, or like today I will do a little coffee chat. So as you guys can see, I am sitting in my cozy little corner here, and I've got a cup of coffee to drink. So today's going to be a little bit of a coffee talk. So if you want to stop and grab yourself something cozy to drink, go ahead and come back, and I'll wait for you. So I'm really liking this little corner, you guys. This was my anniversary present to my husband because I am a stay-at-home mom and I don't earn an income. I find it hard to do special things for him when it comes time for anniversaries and stuff like that. It's not easy for me to go and get him a present because I need him to give me money to go to the grocery store every week, right? So that's silly for me to use his money to go out and buy him a present. So instead, what I like to do is something generous for him. And he had been mentioning how he would like a place to sit down and read before he falls asleep. And we had outgrown the use of this chair that I have a video of how I redid it, so I'll post that below. This chair was in my daughter's room, and when baby James was brand new, I would put Olivia in her bed for her nap and rock James in this chair and read to them, and then eventually we would all doze off, and I would either lay him in his little baby rocker or lay him in the cradle or something and let them finish their nap. So this served an amazing purpose for a long time, but now it's not serving that purpose anymore because James can just take a nap in his own crib. So Olivia was gracious enough to say Daddy could have her chair, and it was very sweet of her. So I brought this up here, and I made him a little corner with a bench and some tables and some lamps so he can sit here and read. And I actually really like it too, so I'm going to sit here and do a coffee chat with you guys. And today's subject is kind of about the pressures of being a modern stay-at-home mom. And some of these pressures for me were self-inflicted. And the whole reason that this came about was because I got really sick. And I didn't realize how sick I was, and I didn't realize how hard I pushed myself until my body had absolutely had enough, and I ended up in the hospital for about a week. I was basically falling victim to the pressures of I don't know if you want to call it society, I don't know if you want to call it social media, I don't know what you want to call it, but basically I thought that I had to wake up at the crack of dawn every morning and work out for an hour every morning and work on my business while raising two small children. And I was on a diet that I got from a nutritionist, which was a very low carb diet. It wasn't keto or whatever, but it was very similar, only I was not allowed to have beans or cheese or any other variations of carbohydrates. And if you want to know my exact diet, I guess I'll write it down in the description box below, and you guys will see just exactly how strict it was, how restricted I was, and I worked myself to the bone, and I wasn't happy, and I was taking my kids to swim lessons, and I got a bad ear infection, and I was running a lot and trying to, if the baby woke up, I would take the stroller with me, so I would be pushing the stroller with one hand or the other hand, and I have scoliosis, so I actually had some ribs shift out of position, And this combination of sleep deprivation and stress, the rib going out of place, and the ear infection gave me what all the doctors were calling was an atypical migraine. I was in so much pain that I did not realize that my head hurt. I was in so much pain that I did not realize that I had a migraine, because I would just get up every morning and pop 3 Motrin. And then again at lunchtime I would take another couple Motrin, and then before bed I would take another couple Motrin. And every time the medicine wore off, the pain would just come right back. And I was just chasing the headache, chasing it and chasing it and chasing it and never getting rid of it. And I wasn't doing my physical therapy like I'm supposed to for my ribs and my shoulder and my neck. And one day my body just decided it couldn't take it anymore, and I ended up having heart palpitations and shaking and going to the emergency room. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong, so they were sending me home that night, and then the very next morning it all happened again. So I went back to the emergency room, and they admitted me, and they basically finally figured out that it was a migraine on top of a bad reaction to the eardrops that I got from my ear infection, which I don't truly understand. I'm going to an ear, nose, and throat doctor next week to try to figure out what's going on with my ears, because I'm also having some dizzy spells that kind of make me feel like I have a head rush, but also like I just rode roller coasters all day long. And you know how if you go to like the theme park and then you lay down at the end of the day and you feel like you're still on a roller coaster? So that's like kind of how I feel when I finally stop and lay down. So I'm still, like, I have some follow-up doctor appointments. I went back to physical therapy for my neck and shoulder because they thought maybe that was giving me dizzy spells. But basically the whole point of this video is to share with you guys what happened so that you don't go through the same thing, right? I just filmed another video. I filmed a clothing haul for you guys, and it was dusty. And I have a wicked dust allergy, so now my nose is a little bit itchy, so I apologize. Anyway, so some things I want to talk to you guys about in this video, and I'm sorry if it goes long. I'll try to keep it short. In today's day and age, we as women are pressured by society and social media, and you know, you see it all the time when you go to the grocery store, you see it at Target, you see it at Walgreens or CVS or wherever you go. If you just want to pick up a planner, you see hustle, 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 girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, mom boss, wife, mother boss, hustle, 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 never give up, never surrender. You know, we get this message everywhere we look, essentially, right? And I sort of fell victim to that. I feel like, you know, as a modern stay-at-home mom these days, we don't really see it as acceptable to just raise our children and be a helpmeet. And, you know, so we're at home all day and we're raising our children all day, and we're cooking and we're cleaning and we're keeping our household together so that our husband can go off to work and make an income and support us. But we're not getting the message that that's enough. We're getting the message consistently across the board that we have to do more, and that we have to have like a side job or like make an earning or something like that to help out more, that we have to do more all the time, right? And so for me, I was trying to run my Etsy shop, which was basically like me kicking a dead horse after a while, right? It wasn't working for me. All of the traffic that I got on my Etsy shop was from very kind people who support me on Instagram who were nice enough to go over to my Etsy shop and look at my items. I never got any traffic from Etsy because they, of course, have promotions that they want you to pay for. They want you to buy ad space from them so that people will go to your shop, right? And they want you to buy ad space from them so that your shop will be the first one when somebody opens up the Etsy website or the first Google search or whatever. So because I couldn't afford to do that, I wasn't getting the Etsy traffic that I used to get. And I was doing all the things that all the books tell you to do. I was doing, making items that people in real life told me that they liked. So I would think, okay, I got a compliment on this. Clearly it's something nice because somebody else likes it, and still no traffic. So I was stressing myself out, trying to run this shop, trying to read all the books and learn everything I could, and still just not getting anywhere with it. And I also realized during this little health stint that I was doing too much as far as trying to get back in shape. I was pushing myself too hard. And again, that's something that I think that we see a lot, probably more on social media, but I think you see it in your everyday surroundings too. I mean, I think you see commercials for it all the time. Every time we turn on the TV, there's a commercial for the newest health and fitness craze or like the newest piece of machinery or something like that. And so I was definitely pushing myself way too hard, trying to exercise too hard for my body type and not listening to what my body needed and not getting the sleep that my body needed, staying up too late and waking up too early, and always trying to beat the clock, So I was in so much pain that I didn't realize how much pain I was in because it had just become my new normal. I don't care who you are. People can say no pain, no gain all they want, but like if you're really in pain, then you're not gaining anything, you know what I mean? And then the other thing that I wanted to touch base on is just perfectionism. I think these days, because we don't go out as much, we are in a lot more, and we're looking on Pinterest and Instagram and everything like that, and I think that we see, like the perfect farmhouse. That's like the big new thing, is the farmhouse style. Not that that's bad. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I think it's beautiful. I'm just saying that, the super perfected pictures that we see that are like an instant in time, that's not real life, and it didn't last, but we see that and we think that we have to live up to that standard in our own lives, even though we have 3 small children ransacking our house every single day, or in my case 2 small children, or maybe you have 5 kids, right? And you can't keep up with that every single day. And then, so if we're not just talking about Instagram and Pinterest, like what if we watch HGTV, or what if we watch Food Network or something like that, and we think that like all of our meals have to be gourmet, and our kitchen has to be cleaned up as soon as we're done cooking, and like we forget that they have a whole crew going around behind them cleaning everything up. We forget that it's not just a camera crew there helping out. There's an entire crew of people like dusting and sweeping and wiping and making everything just amazing. And so we get this pressure of perfectionism that we might not even realize is bothering us. And then I'm also guilty of, I make cleaning videos on my channel, and like shame on me if I ever made anybody feel like their kitchen had to be perfectly clean because I make cleaning videos. I'm gonna apologize right here and now and say I'm sorry if I ever made anybody feel like their house wasn't good enough because I make cleaning videos. Like, that was a obviously never my intention. I just like to make videos and I think they're fun. Having said that, these are just some things that I wanted to address on my channel because obviously I was like actually sick and there was some other stuff going on, but it gave me the time to stop and think about what I needed to change in my life so I could get better, right? It gave me the time to stop and realize how I got into the position that I was in the first place and how I got sick in the first place so that it won't happen again, because it took a week out of my life and then I still had to recover after I got home. Took a week away from my kids and I missed them like nobody's business, and took a week away from my husband and I missed him, and he didn't get to go to work, and he was like stay-at-home dad for a week and a total champion about the whole thing. But was it worth it? No. Being able to go on a run once in a while is great and it feels good, but trying to do it every day and then do weight training as soon as I got home was not worth me getting sick. Being on a super strict diet that took away all of my carbohydrates except for oatmeal and some blueberries, that it wasn't worth it. I'm sorry, you guys, my kids are waking up from their naps, so I'm gonna hurry up and finish up, and you're gonna hear them cry because they're downstairs. But being on that super strict diet wasn't worth it to lose the weight, because then I didn't feel good afterwards, and working my body too hard and not getting enough sleep was not letting me recover from the rib out of socket and the ear infection. It wasn't worth it. Trying to run the Etsy shop and just basically paying Etsy more and more and more and more and never getting any traffic to my store wasn't worth it. So I guess I'm sharing this video with you guys to tell you what the mistakes that I think that I made, so that hopefully you won't do it as well, so that hopefully you can take a step back and say, okay, I'm okay, my kids are okay, everybody's healthy, everybody's fed, everybody's clean, and that's good enough. And you're good enough. And it's good enough if you're a stay-at-home mom, and it's a good enough if you're a work-at-home mom, and it's good enough if you're a work-out-of-the-home mom, and you do support your family, and you do go out there every day and do that. That's amazing. But don't let society pressure you into feeling like you have to be something that you're not. Don't let society and other people who are not living your life pressure you into feeling like you constantly need to be doing more. Because at the end of the day, if you're happy, that's good. And that's it. You shouldn't have to do more. So I'm going to finish my coffee, and I'm going to help my husband take care of my kids because they're up from their naps. And let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you feel. Are you a stay-at-home mom? What do you do for a living? How many kids do you have? What do you think about all of this stuff? What do you think about the stuff that we talked about? Does that stuff ever bother you? Does it ever bother you to feel like you always have to hustle? Or does it ever bother you to feel like you think that you need to get back in shape after having your kids? Let me know. I'm going to do another video. I'll tell you guys, I'll do another video of like my weight loss journey or whatever, because it's been really different. And it hasn't been picture perfect, and I'm going to share it with you guys so that hopefully you all feel like what you are doing is amazing. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!